Welcome to the Lost in History channel. Be sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. Children are shown performing tasks in a coal mine in the state of Pennsylvania, United States. Year 1911. At that time, it was common for miners to work in industrial and underground environments. A nanny sits beside the child in her care on a bench marked as reserved for Europeans. Johannesburg, South Africa. Year 1956. The city of Moscow, Russia, is photographed at night during a moment of intense tension, recorded in 1941. The sky is lit by flashes and reflections from aerial actions. A Japanese aircraft is captured in a dive during an aerial engagement over Saipan. Year 1944. The incident was part of a series of operations conducted in the Pacific during the 1940s. A French woman is photographed inside a photo booth in the 1980s. Location, France. These booths were popular in urban areas and transit stations, allowing people to take quick portraits for documents or personal keepsakes. Actor Kirk Douglas is photographed signing autographs on Lido Beach in Venice during a film festival. Year 1953, Italy. The chimpanzee ham is placed in a testing apparatus that simulates acceleration and braking in the United States. Year 1960. The procedure was part of a series of preparations conducted before his suborbital flight. United States military personnel march in formation during a patrol in southern Vietnam. Date, December 1969. The group moves through dense vegetation using protective and communication gear. A man aims a portable military device toward the sky in Nangarhar Province, Afghanistan. Year 1988. The image was captured during a period of intense regional tension. An off-duty police officer reacts swiftly to stop an attempted assault with a sharp object. Location, Glasgow, Scotland, year 1971. The image captures the exact moment of intervention on a busy street, showing security forces in direct action during a risky situation. 44-year-old Mao Zedong is photographed in the city of Yan'an in northwest China. Year 1937. At that time, Yan'an served as the political and strategic center for the movement he led. In 1957 in the United States, a special toy horse-shaped device was used to help children stay still during chest X-rays. The device provided a playful and safe way to position them during the examination. A visit conducted on October 23, 1940, to detention facilities in Barcelona, Spain. Among the visitors were political figures of the era, accompanied by local officials. A flight attendant secures a baby in a suspended bassinet above the seats during a commercial flight, 1950s or 1960s. The equipment was designed to allow babies to travel more comfortably and safely on planes of that era. Children play in the garden of the Madonna House Daycare in New York City, United States, year 1941. In 1939, technicians conducted quality control tests on personal use product units in a factory. The parts were inflated and visually inspected to check for strength and material integrity. In 1945, at the Army Airfield in Kingman, Arizona, United States, dozens of B-17 Flying Fortress aircraft were lined up in long rows. These planes were no longer in operation and had been moved there after their service ended. Annie Edson Taylor poses next to her cat and the barrel she used to go over Niagara Falls. Year 1901, United States. At 63 years old, she became the first person to survive the journey inside a sealed barrel. Large-scale equipment manufactured in Italy is shown after being captured by Austro-Hungarian forces. Date: November 1917. A forklift operator arranges pallets of vaccines in a warehouse in the state of Indiana, United States. April 1955. The stored vaccines were developed to fight a disease that affected thousands of people at the time. Audrey Hepburn is photographed in a relaxed moment beside her pet deer named Pippin. Year 1959, United States. The animal, affectionately nicknamed Ip, was given to her during the filming of a movie project and came to accompany her in daily life. A family of parents and 5 children walks toward the city of Saigon in southern Vietnam. Date: June 19, 1972. President Franklin D. Roosevelt delivers a speech before a joint session of the United States Congress. Date: December 8, 1941. A 1930s political leader inspects a Mercedes-Benz W154 Grand Prix racing car up close. Year 1938, Germany. Egyptian men watch the Graf Zeppelin airship fly over the Giza pyramids. Year 1931, Egypt. The German aircraft made long-distance flights and drew attention as it passed one of the world's most historic sites. A German leader walks inside the Les Invalides complex in Paris, France. Year 1940. He observes the site of Napoleon Bonaparte's tomb, a central figure in French history. The visit took place during a period of intense international tension. 19-year-old Arnold Schwarzenegger is photographed in Austria in 1966. At that time, he was already making a name for himself in bodybuilding, participating in competitions, and attracting attention for his dedication to physical training. An automobile parking lift in operation in Chicago, United States. Year 1936. The system stacked vehicles vertically, saving space in busy urban areas. Royal Navy sailors and their girlfriends celebrate in the fountains of Trafalgar Square in London. Date: May 8, 1945. The scene was captured on VE Day, the day that marked the end of combat in Europe. On August 30th, 1980, during the first Miss Olympia event, Arnold Schwarzenegger was photographed carrying competitor Stacey Bentley in one arm. In 1911, a Ford Model T was driven up the steps of the Tennessee State Capitol in the United States. The stunt was performed as a demonstration of the vehicle's strength and capability. Around 1980, Two members of the Soviet forces were photographed in a mountainous region of Afghanistan. They are dressed in official uniforms, taking a break during a mission on site. The sky over London is streaked with aircraft contrails shortly after an air raid recorded in 1940. The image shows the visual effects left by planes during a clash between British and German forces. John Schrank, owner of a German-American tavern, appears smiling beside police officers. Around October 1912, United States. Months before this image, he had been arrested after attempting to attack former President Theodore Roosevelt during a public event. Buzz Aldrin is photographed arriving at NASA's Kennedy Space Center for one of the final training sessions before the lunar mission. Date: July 9, 1969, United States. In the image, he steps out of a Chevrolet Corvette in a parking lot near the space agency's facilities. Fidel Castro speaks with Yuri Gagarin during an official meeting in Havana, Cuba's capital. Year 1961. Gagarin had become world-renowned as the first human to fly in space. Around the 1950s, actress and model Irish McCalla was photographed posing for an Alberto Vargas illustration. She became known for portraying Sheena, the Jungle Princess, a role that highlighted her athletic posture and her height of 5 feet 10 inches. A young woman writes a thank you letter to her boyfriend, who was serving in the United States Navy, year 1944. The episode reflects practices of the time that are now considered inappropriate and contrary to today's principles of respect and human dignity. In 1987, American athlete Mike Tyson was photographed playing a video game based on his own likeness. The game was released for a home console and quickly became popular among sports and technology fans. Fidel Castro walks near a statue of Abraham Lincoln at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, United States. 1950s. Williamson County in the state of Illinois, United States. October 1975. A sign was installed to warn residents about the recent escape of an inmate from the Marion Federal Penitentiary. The notice was placed in a high-traffic area. A driver stops to ask for directions from a highway patrol officer in the state of New Mexico, United States, year 1939. ENIAC, considered the first large-scale electronic computer, appears in this historic image. It was developed in the United States during the 1940s, with the initial goal of performing complex calculations for scientific and technical projects. Machu Picchu, Peru. This image was taken in 1912, shortly after the site was revealed to the international public. The photograph shows the ruins of the ancient city built by the Inca Empire, located at over 6,562 feet above sea level in the Andes Mountains. Fidel Castro donates blood in support of victims of an earthquake that struck Peru. Year 1962. The act was recorded during a solidarity campaign for the population affected by a major seismic event. A public demonstration recorded in the United States in 1977. Women and supporters march through the streets holding banners advocating for health rights and freedom of choice. Carrie Fisher poses alongside extras dressed as soldiers from the fictional Star Wars universe at a promotional event in London, England. Year 1980. The actress was promoting The Empire Strikes Back, the second film in the original trilogy. A police photograph of Josip Broz Tito, taken on April 5, 1928, in the city of Zagreb, then part of the Kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes. The image was captured after his arrest during an attempt, along with other protesters, to free a baker who had been detained by local officers. Harvey Ross Ball appears next to his most famous creation, the yellow smiling face, popularly known as the Smiley. 1960s United States. Actress Sissy Spacek is portrayed in this image taken during the 1970s in the United States. Known for her talent and commanding screen presence, she rose to prominence in numerous film and television productions throughout her career. A swimsuit contest held on June 25, 1921, in Washington, District of Columbia, United States. Sophia Loren is photographed giving a loving kiss to her younger sister, Maria Ciccolone. Year 1955, Italy. Both attended numerous cultural and family events throughout the decade. 17-year-old Shaquille O'Neal poses alongside his high school basketball team in San Antonio, Texas, United States. Year 1989. Restoration work is carried out at Stonehenge on the Salisbury Plain in Wiltshire County, southern England. Year 1958. The interventions included repositioning stone blocks with the help of machinery to preserve the monument's original structure. A man walks alongside a pig on a sidewalk in a rural area of the former People's Republic of Poland. Approximate period between 1980 and 1989. The Google company team poses together in front of its first official office in the United States. The image was taken during the company's early years of operation. Filmmaker Alfred Hitchcock appears dressed as Ringo Starr, drummer of the British band The Beatles. Year 1964. The image was taken in a humorous vein, with Hitchcock sitting at a drum set and sporting a hairstyle similar to the band members. The Notre Dame Cathedral in Reims, France, is struck by a shell during a bombing. Date: September 19, 1914. The impact caused significant damage to the historic structure, which was one of the country's main architectural landmarks. Jean Bugatti poses next to a Bugatti Royale, an exclusive model produced in 1932. Only 7 units of this automobile were built, noted for its imposing size and luxurious details. A busy parking lot in front of a drive-in diner in Los Angeles, United States. 1950s. Customers arrive in their cars and are served by uniformed staff who deliver orders directly through the vehicle's windows. The Peel P50, a single-seat car, is shown in motion in the United Kingdom. Year 1962. Designed as an urban vehicle, the model could reach up to 40 miles per hour. It was advertised as able to accommodate 1 adult and a shopping bag. Marilyn Monroe appears alongside friends aboard a boat during an outing. 1960s, United States. The image captures a relaxed moment of the actress away from film studios, surrounded by close companions. Actress Lauren Bacall is photographed sitting on a piano while then Vice President of the United States Harry S. Truman plays for a group of American servicemen. Date, February 10, 1945. Nena von Schlebrügge, mother of actress Uma Thurman, poses for a Vogue magazine photo shoot. Year 1958, United States. At the time, she was one of the leading models on the international fashion scene. James Dean is photographed sitting in a car as he signs photos for his fans. Year 1955, United States. The image was captured at the height of his film career, when he was already recognized as a leading youth icon of the era. Emery and Harrison of Jonesboro, Tennessee, United States, pose with their 13 children. Year 1955. All the children were boys, making them the largest all-male American family recorded up to that time. 18-year-old Diana Spencer is photographed while working as a nanny in 1979 in the United Kingdom. Before achieving worldwide fame, she carried out simple and discreet daily tasks, caring for children and assisting families. The young Jo Raquel Tejada is photographed in 1958, years before adopting the stage name Raquel Welch. Location, United States. At that time, she had not yet begun her acting and modeling career, but already stood out for her presence and elegance. Pan Am's first-class service aboard a Boeing 747 during the 1980s. The cabin features spacious seats, individual tables, and meals served on fine china with silverware, reflecting the era's standard of comfort and elegance. Bill Lundy, recognized as the last Civil War veteran living in Florida, poses beside a jet aircraft in 1955 in the United States. Walter Botts is photographed in 1970 as the model who inspired the classic Uncle Sam image, a national symbol of the United States. He served as the reference for illustrations used on historical posters aimed at mobilizing the public during various periods. Marilyn Monroe is photographed exercising at the Bel Air Hotel in Los Angeles, California. Year 1953. Wearing period-appropriate athletic attire, she performs a light stretching routine in a quiet, private setting. Couples are photographed in a bar in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, United States. Year 1959. The image shows a relaxed atmosphere with closely spaced tables, soft lighting, and lively conversations among patrons. Ontario Premier Mitchell Hepburn is photographed beside the Dion quintuplets around 1934 in Canada. The sisters, born on the same day, became world famous as the first set of identical quintuplets to survive infancy. An announcer reads the day's news on the Telefon Hírmondó system in Budapest, then part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Year 1901. The service transmitted information via telephone lines directly to subscribers, functioning like a spoken newspaper. Anthony Daniels is photographed backstage on the Star Wars set in 1976, wearing the upper portion of the C-3PO costume. In the image, he takes a break during filming, talking with crew members and holding a cigarette. A group of students from the 1940s is photographed attending to schoolwork with Coca-Cola bottles on their desks. Location, United States. The scene shows youngsters focused on their notebooks in a typical classroom setting of the era. John Travolta poses wearing a pilot's hat in 1985 in the United States. The actor, passionate about aviation, earned his first pilot's license in 1978 and went on to fly various types of aircraft over the years. Richard Nixon takes part in a campaign rally in Paoli, Pennsylvania, United States. Date, July 1968. Surrounded by supporters, he gave a speech seeking votes during his presidential bid. This photo was taken in Japan on April 22, 1943. It shows Mount Fuji seen through the periscope of the U.S. submarine USS Trigger, SS-237. The image was captured during an official ocean mission. A Coca-Cola delivery truck is photographed in operation in 1934 in the United States. The vehicle was designed with a special compartment to serve drinks directly to the public, functioning as a mobile refreshment station. In-flight meals are prepared in the galley of a Pan Am Clipper aircraft during a flight from San Francisco, United States, to New Zealand, year 1948. The menu included chef's salad, filet mignon, and ice cream, served as part of the full service for passengers on the international route. 17-year-old Elizabeth Taylor is photographed giving her Cocker Spaniel named Amy a bath. Year 1949, United States. 3 Burmese visitors play cards during a trip to London, England, in 1935. They wear brass neck and leg rings, items traditionally worn by Padaong women from childhood. Harvest workers take a break in an orchard during the 1950s in the United States. Sitting in the shade of the trees, they rest after hours of labor, surrounded by baskets and farming tools. This photo was taken around 1953. It shows actress Audrey Hepburn reviewing a script before recording a program at the United Nations Radio. The recording was part of a UNICEF initiative. In 1953, at the Tower of London in England, a member of the Royal Guard interacts with visitors during his shift. He stands in front of the guard post, one of the site's most traditional spots. In 1953, French actress Brigitte Bardot was photographed during a visit to Venice, Italy. The image shows the artist in 1953, French actress Brigitte Bardot was photographed. In 1984, actress Drew Barrymore appeared alongside actor Vincent Price at a publicly documented event. Vincent Price was a close friend of Drew's grandfather John Barrymore and was also known for his long film career. In 1980, in a village of the former Soviet Union, residents transport a television set on a sled covered with straw and cloth. The scene shows the moment when the equipment arrives in the community, pulled by a horse through the snow. In 1979, in the city of Naples, Italy, people were photographed buying pizza on a local street. The scene shows the urban environment and the popular custom of purchasing food quickly and directly from sidewalk vendors. In 1937, John F. Kennedy was photographed feeding pigeons in St. Mark's Square in Venice, Italy. At the time, he was still a young visitor before becoming a public figure in the United States. French actress Brigitte Bardot is photographed in a garden in 1950. She wears a patterned dress and a large straw hat, typical elements of the era's fashion. The image was captured early in her film and television career. Walt Disney poses alongside family and colleagues on the opening day of the Disney Studios. Location, United States. The moment was captured in front of the first building housing the company's creative team.